the Atlantic is the home of your Toronto Raptors. And let's go ahead and start right there. The 2011-2012 Toronto Raptors season, I think, is really going to be defined and characterized by one key word, a D word, a word that a lot of Raptor fans don't want to hear. They don't want to believe that, again, we're part of a rebuilding process around here, but that's certainly the hand we've been dealt as Raptor fans, and that D word, development. This is going to be a season of development, some key developments needed going forward for this organization. New man in charge, Dwayne Casey. We know he'll be in charge of developing the defense for the Toronto Raptors. Believe it or not, there may actually be defense played in the country of Canada for the Toronto Raptors this year. Hard to believe, I understand, I realize that, but that is the pedigree, that is what Dwayne Casey brings to the table. This was a Raptor team when Chris Bosh was the last line of defense. I mean, it was teams just ran layup drills against the Toronto Raptors, and with Bosh leaving, it certainly didn't get any better. If you can believe it, it even got worse. No team in the NBA last year gave up more points or shots at the rim than the Toronto Raptors, because they're just simply, as we know, folks, there are no consequences to taking the ball to the rim and attacking against this Toronto Raptor defense. Dwayne Casey will improve that. In particular, of course, we're going to be looking at his work with Andrea Bargnani. I'm sure we're all on the same page here. Andrea, I mean, elite, one of the top. I love his offensive game. You think about that size and that release point. He can get a shot off whenever he wants. He's a fantastic offensive threat. All of our concerns with Andrea Bargnani, and really for some time now, of course, have been the rebounding and the defense. I do believe that Dwayne Casey will be able to address these with him. We saw what he was able to do with Dirk Nowitzki. He certainly turned Nowitzki into a credible defender. But really what I'm looking for here is the development of Andrea Bargnani. Yes, the rebounding, but as a help side defender as well. And I think Dwayne Casey could be huge in this area. Andrea, he's a 7-foot frame inside that paint. He's got to be a significantly better help side defender. I think Dwayne Casey can help there. But when I'm talking about development in this season, and I'm talking about player personnel development, Kia, I mean, just on the top of that list for me, Ed Davis, a guy, for me, I think he's built like a truck, and Office fans will appreciate that. I refer to him as Ed Truck. Maybe some old school fans out there think he's built like a horse and want to refer to him as Mr. I don't know, but he needs a nickname for sure, because this guy's got potential to be raw, powerful. He's got big time upside in his game. Really now, Fred Davis, it's been a couple years since he's been able to put together a healthy, full season. This year, I think I mean, we're certainly going to knock on wood around here that will be different, that he will have a full season. He's going to get a training camp under Dwayne Casey as well. I'm absolutely keeping both eyes on Ned Davis this year. Have to be able to see, and the potential is there, and we have to be able to see the production on the court that shows that, yes, this is our power forward going forward for this organization. Another guy that we need to see that is going to develop, DeMar DeRozan. Certainly there was development in last year's game from DeMar DeRozan from his first year to second year, no doubt about that. Is there room for further improvement? Sure there is. If you look around the landscape of the NBA right now, there is not a ton of young, really high upside two guards or shooting guards, and DeMar DeRozan has the potential to be one of those. From all accounts and purposes, he certainly has put in the work, as he did last offseason, to improve the game, so I'm excited to see what DeRozan can bring. Another guy, of course, Jared Bayless. So we'll be certainly watching the development of Jared Bayless this year. If you're like me, you're probably still on the fence for Jared Bayless as far as, is he the Raptors point guard going forward? He, of course, was brought in by the trade exception that the Raptors got for Chris Bosh last year, so I hope at the end of the day we're going to be happy with Chris Bosh for Jared Bayless trade. That may be long odds, that may be fat chance, that may be wishful thinking there, Baldy, but hey, we can dream around here, right? Of course, we're going to be watching the development of Jared Bayless. Absolutely have to wonder, is he the guy to have the ball in the hands going forward for this organization? And at the 3 spot, very interesting things going on at the small forward for the Toronto Raptors, and 3 guys, and well, I guess no pun intended, because if you took a ball and ran with it in basketball, it'd be traveling, so maybe no pun intended, but 3 guys who are all going to have the opportunity to take the ball and run with it. We're talking about Linus Kleiza, James Johnson, and Gary Forbes. Here are 3 guys right now that are going to get a lot of playing time. Great opportunities for these players right here to show the Raptors organization that they are capable of being part of this organization going forward. I can't think of many organizations throughout the NBA, folks, that would have minutes for as many as the Raptors are going to have for Forbes, for Johnson, or for Kleiza. So big opportunities here for these guys. We'll certainly be watching that development going forward. And of course, we know Jonas Valanciunas as well. Of course, his development overseas. I think it's a great scenario for him being overseas, playing with adult competition, getting probably more minutes than he may have right now as a Toronto Raptor. I mean, that may be debatable, but I like the idea that he's overseas, getting some more seasoning for one more year. If you've read the blog before, if you've seen the YouTube videos, if you've ever seen me converse about Jonas Valanciunas, you know I'm a firm believer, and if you've seen him, I know you are too. Seeing is believing. Valanciunas, absolutely real deal going forward. He is the center going forward, regardless of what happens at the 3 spot at the small forward, or at the 1 spot with Bayless, if he's going to be your guy going forward. Either way, if the Raptors do end up in the lottery this year, it's a very, very deep lottery, so you're definitely going to add a piece of the puzzle going forward next year, and Valanciunas comes over from overseas next year as well. So the future looking brighter maybe than than most think out there. It's just a playoff team right now. I think we would all agree a heavy point of emphasis for Dwayne Casey this year has to be the road play. This is a complete punchline on the road last year. This Crafter team, they were the Crafters on the road last year. 6 road W's for the Toronto Raptors last year. In a shortened season, if they would only get 6, I would consider that just putrid numbers. To have it for a full season, clearly not going to cut it, folks. Boston Celtics, folks. Hey, big boys in the Atlantic Division. How about 4-time defending Atlantic Division champion Boston Celtics? And during all those seasons as well, big boys in the Eastern Conference also. A Doc Rivers squad during this entire time, of course, constantly dogged with questions of, are they too old to compete at an elite level? I'm actually thinking, folks, that this is the first year we're actually maybe buying into that. If we take a look at this roster right now, starting point guard Rajon Rondo, what's not to love there? 25 years old, brilliant player, a huge upside, a legit all-star. I love Rajon Rondo. 25 years old as the point guard going forward. Oh, love it. After that now, how about Jermaine O'Neal at 33? Paul Pierce at 34, Kevin Garnett at 35, Ray Allen at 36. So definitely some lengthy years going on for the rest of that starting 5. And for the Boston Celtics, folks, Craig's key. When you look at that starting 5 unit, their combined salaries, north of $60 million, folks. And in this new CBA, that is significantly too much. I think from the age and the salaries, we're definitely seeing the final kick at the can for Doc Rivers and this particular group. And this is even a different group than we've seen before. The starters, remain pretty much intact. But if you look at this 4-year run in the Atlantic Division for the Celtics, it's been a front court. They even had Leon Poe back then, Kendrick Perkins, Big Baby Davis, Rasheed Wallace, Shaquille O'Neal, Jeff Green. Of course, Jeff Green, unfortunately, going to be out for the year. Jeff Green, definitely wish you all the success in your heart operation and subsequent recovery, speedy and healthy recovery, as I'm sure Jeff will appreciate that message. I'm sure, like many NBA players out there, I'm sure he's tuning into the Sports Talk with Craig Ballard NBA preview. Or not. Okay, let's move on. In are guys like Chris Wilcox and Brandon Bass, so really a completely different Celtic front court, in particular coming off the bench than we've seen before. Definitely looks like a last kick at the can opportunity for this Celtic squad. One thing that you have to be optimistic if you're a Celtic fan is how well they continue to play at home. One of only 3 NBA teams last year with single-digit home losses. They continue to get it done in Boston. They're going to be formidable, there's no doubt about it, but the Knicks have made improvements in this division. We'll see if the Celtics can win a 5th straight Atlantic Division. Speaking of the New York Knicks, let's go ahead and preview their season here in the Atlantic Division. Sports Talk with Craig Ballard, Atlantic Division preview. Boy, are you like me, folks? Are you excited about this Knicks team? I'll tell you what, I am. When I take a look at this front court, folks, you're talking about newly acquired Tyson Chandler. Congratulations, Knicks fans. At the 5, at the center. At the 4, at the power forward, Amari Stoudemire. Wow. And at the 3, at the small forward, Carmelo Anthony. We're talking about a front court here that has me saying, wow. I'm wondering if it's even on a historic level, this front court. We'll see how it plays out, of course, but man, just all kinds of upside and potential with this front court going forward for the New York Knicks. Add Baron Davis, a veteran, to that backcourt. A lot of people out there probably not crazy about that move. I really like that move. Baron Davis, still a point guard in the NBA that when he's motivated is very legit. Baron Davis, when he's at his best, he is putting up his teammates in as good a position as any point guard in the league, to be honest with you, to score the basketball. Still very, very good when he's motivated. Now, that's a whole different discussion. Why isn't this guy, as a pro, as a multi-million-dollar pro, why isn't he motivated every night? That's a whole different question. But I think with this Knicks team, as they've combined their own big 3, big 4, however big you want to put it, to combat with the Miami Heat, and of course playing at Madison Square Gardens, I think we'll look for a motivated Baron Davis. I like that addition. Now, all that being said, we mentioned a lot of players there. I'm going to say Craig's key for this New York Knicks team going forward is that backcourt. And let's really take a look. I'm looking really at a guy like Landry Fields. Landry Fields, a wonderful upside, wonderful looking talent in New York. He will have to continue his development and continue his rise. And I'm also looking at a third-year player like Tony Douglas. Tony Douglas, again, another guy who's improved in every year that he's been in the league, and a guy that you have to look for going forward from the Knicks, in particular, his three-point shooting. And speaking of three-point shooting, I'm also roping Bill Walker into this group as well with Landry Fields and Tony Douglas. Bill Walker, another guy that has to be on point from downtown for Mike D'Antoni. These guys are are going to be huge for D'Antoni and the offense that he wants to run. And if you're Mike D'Antoni, you want the results now. You need these guys stepping up now. The worst case scenario for Mike D'Antoni is that he's going to coach this team up, get them to the cusp of being a legitimate finals contender, and have ex-Knicks player Phil Jackson come swoop in and take them to the next level, or try to take them to the next level for everything that D'Antoni's built. That's his worst nightmare, so he certainly wants to win now. As we said, we love that front court. I'm going to take those three guards as the key to this season. If they can shoot the ball, the three ball, at a high level, man, I'm really excited about this Knicks team. One Craig's key that I would say as well, big time, and we addressed it earlier with Baron Davis. I think he'll be motivated to play at home, but the Knicks' home record at Madison Square, absolutely, we're talking about a must here. If they're going to compete with Boston in the Atlantic Division, take it one step further. If they're going to be one of the elite teams, so one of the top four in a very top-heavy Eastern Conference, then the home record absolutely has to improve for New York. Just 5 games over 500 last year at home, folks. That is not going to get it done. That is not the pedigree. That is not the stats of an elite team. So we'll check this Knicks team going forward. I'm excited about them. Here's a team right here that certainly are trying to get their financial house in order, as we've seen with the amnesty cut of Travis Outlaw. A lot of things that they're trying to do right now. They do have money to spend and looking to get their ducks in a row, get their I's dotted and their T's crossed, looking to get everything ready to go so they can try to make a very big splash. As we know, they're looking to make a big splash, add at least player with marquee talent, if not players with marquee ability to sell as they move into Brooklyn next year. Really, for me, this is a roster that I'm really underwhelmed with as it's currently constructed. Darren Williams and Brook Lopez, two wonderful talents on this team, no doubt about it. For me, and if you read the blog, and if you've seen me talk about this before, you know from day one, if you follow me on Twitter, at CraigBallard77, you know from day one, I was completely against. In fact, one of the only things I've ever disagreed with my idol Magic Johnson on is he loved New Jersey picking up Darren Williams. I was against it from day one. I thought they gave up significantly too much for a player that I don't think has any chance that he's going to re-up with the New Jersey/Brooklyn Nets. Of course, time will tell. We will see on that. And right now you have him and you have Brook Lopez, two wonderful players, two all-star caliber players, absolutely. But after that, folks, wow, you talk about a top-heavy roster. After that, the drop-off is huge. The Craig's key for this organization here is going to be, where's the offense going to come from here, folks? Only Milwaukee and Charlotte last year with worse offenses than this Nets team. I don't see that improving. One player I'm really interested to see, Marshawn Brooks, rookie guard out of Providence. I'm really interested to see how he will play this year. And of course, if the Nets are going to have any chance at winning any sort of volume of basketball games this year, certainly they're going to need Lopez and D. Will, of course. And we'll watch Marshawn Brooks, but they're going to need a lot from Anthony Morrow. His scoring is going to have to be huge. Again, we asked the question, where is the scoring going to come from? Morrow's going to have a huge year. So a few teams ago, I got excited about the New York Knicks. Then not that excited about the New Jersey Nets. Well, I'm back up to excited again as we discuss the fifth and final, and it's only final in the order we mentioned them. That's all. I don't think that this is the last place team by any stretch in the Atlantic Division. A team I'm very, very excited about myself. Philadelphia 76ers. 76er fans, stand up. I'm really liking the job that Doug Collins is doing there in Philadelphia, getting that team turned around, and I'm really liking this roster. A lot of young talent, spread out on this team, on this roster. I really like it. You have a guy like Spencer Hawes. He's a contributor. Drew Holiday, I'm a big Drew Holiday fan. This guy, in his second year last season, almost doubled every stat from the season before. I really like Drew Holiday. Stud in the making, in my opinion. Evan Turner, I really like Evan Turner and his upside as well. He'll be going into his second year. I really like a lot of things they got going on there. How about guys like Lou Williams and Thaddeus Young, both double-digit scorers coming off the bench for the Philadelphia 76ers for Doug Collins. I really like that a lot. Craig's key for me for the Sixers going forward is going to be Elton Brand and Andre Iguodala. These two veterans right now combining for $30 million each year. You've got, I mean, we just talked about, 5 or 6 young up-and-coming players that Philadelphia has. You've got to believe that they're going to be looking to make a move to shed some salary, and B, free up some more playing time for this young up-and-coming roster that they have. And so that'll be very interesting as the season goes on. I bet Brand and Andre Iguodala will be the fodder of many, many trade rumors, so we'll definitely keep our eyes on that. That was the Atlantic Division preview. As we said before, definitely please keep checking out the YouTube channels. We're going to have all the previews up for you. Sports Talk with Craig Ballard. Follow me on Twitter at CraigBallard77. You know I love that you join me, man. You know I'm excited. I know you are too.